What's up, everyone? I hope you're having a great Thanksgiving, eating lots of turkey. I wanted to do this video because me and him actually have a history of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was a big part of us growing up, and it was very game-centric, very video gamey. A lot of video game memories. So we've never actually stopped and talked about it. By the way, this is my cousin Chris, for those of you who don't know. But yeah, what are you, like 10 years younger than me or so? Something like that.
32? 32, and you're...
Okay, I'm 40.
So 8, 7, 8.
Somewhere
horrible.
But anyway, once we started getting older, because we were there every Friday night playing video games.
Every Friday
night playing video games.
Till the crack of dawn.
Whether it be NES, which you didn't play much NES because you were so small, but once it got to Super Nintendo, you were all over that. Sega Genesis over at your house. But, every Friday night we'd play video games. Well, we kind of stopped going there. Once you get older, you kind of stop, I guess. We did anyway.
I look back at that and I try to pinpoint like when that happened, and it just kind of faded away.
Yeah, for those of you kind of have a little bit of a backstory here. So my parents didn't get me an NES or a Super Nintendo or anything like that. However,
what a chump.
Our grandmother was extremely close. We lived all really close to each other.
Same neighborhood.
Basically. So what ended up happening, my grandparents were like, well, we'll get a Super Nintendo and an NES and, all the stuff that came out. And we'll keep it here so all the grandkids would go over there and play it. So
it was bait. They were using it as bait.
To get us to come over and hang out with them. But it worked, right? But every Friday night, whether or not we were playing video games that we owned from birthdays or Christmas or whatever, or renting games, which was a huge part. We would rent games, tons of games. Eventually, we just stopped. We stopped going over. I was probably around, I'm going to guess I was around 15-ish.
Yeah. Somewhere
in that range where I was like, well, I'm too old to go over and spend the night at my grandmother's house.
I'm too cool to play video games.
Yeah. It wasn't so much video games because I think even at that time...
You still had a closet love for video games.
Well, it wasn't so much a closet love. Like, I actually ended up with my own money because I was doing chores and doing all that kind of stuff. I wasn't old enough to have a job yet, but I was doing chores, earning money. I actually ended up getting a Super Nintendo and having that in my room at my home. So I didn't need to go to my grandparents' house anymore.
I remember going over to Billy's house and be like, "Where's Billy?" And his mom would be like, "He's back in his room." And I'd kick his door open. And then he'd be sitting on this stupid bean bag that
I remember the bean bag. Yeah.
The bean bag had like half a bean in it. It looked like a deflated it looked like the corpse of a cow that had been sitting in the sun for a long time. It was just kind of deteriorated flat with kind of some skin over it, You know
what I just remembered that I've totally forgot
until just now.
Until literally just now. I mean, that's crazy, but so underneath my bed, I had one of those beds where it had drawers underneath, and that's where I kept all of my Nintendo powers. Yeah. And there became a point when I was probably around 15, 16 or whatever, I was like, what do I need Nintendo powers for? That's only dorks have video game magazines. What I want this?
Stupid!
I gave them to you.
No, you didn't.
I swear I gave them to you. I know I did. I know I did.
Then
I distinctly, because you just triggered a memory. When you
Are you sure you gave them to me?
You just triggered a memory. Whenever you came through the door one day, I was like, dude, actually, good thing that you're here.
Oh, yeah, you gave me a stack. It was like it wasn't like box after box, but it was like a stack of them.
Yeah.
It was like, and you were like, here.
Yeah.
And then I don't
I was an idiot. I was an idiot. That was a stupid.
That was a dumb.
That was extremely dumb. Because I wish that I had my old Nintendo Power, the specific ones that I actually had a subscription for. They came in the mail for me, right? It had my name on the bottom. Not all my Nintendo Powers now actually have like Charlie suck a cock, and an address, But it's whatever. But anyway,
when you got old enough, you bought your own system, and then I would go to Billy's, kick open his door, and then he'd be sitting there with his little crap-eating grin. Hey, look what I got, and and
is that what I would do?
Yeah, and then I'd be like, okay, whatever, peace, and then I wouldn't see you for like another freaking 6 months or however long, So
we went from pretty much being there every Friday night for about
a long time,
4, 5, 6, 7 years straight to just not doing it anymore. But Thanksgiving was like the
Super Bowl of gaming.
Right.
It was the one time a year.
We would do it for Christmas, but it wasn't. It was different for Christmas because everyone kind of had more of like their own separate Christmases.
But everybody went to our grandparents for Thanksgiving, and so, you know, him being older and him having his games, and then me having my games, I'd call him, hey, what console are you bringing? Oh, Super Nintendo, or, you know, what are we doing? And then I would bring. I think I brought a PlayStation or something one year.
I remember that too. Like it's funny because I haven't
thought about any of this.
Well, see, I haven't actually talked to this about with you. I can't remember the last time I even did. But just doing that is starting to trigger a lot of memories because I remember at one point, and this was after the Super Nintendo but before the 64, because there was an area.
It was a gap.
There was a gap of about 2 years for me, or 2 to 3 years maybe, though I wasn't playing anything. And this was before when the N64, came out. And I really wasn't interested in getting one. But you got one.
Yeah.
And then you, one year, brought it over for Thanksgiving, and you brought Quarterback Club.
Yeah, that's right. I think I have it.
When we got together on Thanksgiving, we would watch football, and then we would play Madden. And at most of the Madden games, all of the Madden games at that point were on Super Nintendo, so we would play.
If I don't have
Super
it,
Nintendo.
if I don't have
Madden.
it, I swear. No, it wasn't.
I think it's got Brett Favre.
It was. Yeah, NFL Club here.
Blam. That's
There
it.
we go. That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you'd bring this over, and this was the first time because we'd been playing like Madden on the Super Nintendo once we got back together.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, but when I saw that, I was like,
"Whoa! I might need to get a 64."
I didn't need to get a 64. Yeah, because I was a huge football fan. I love football. I absolutely loved it, and I love playing the games. But it wasn't enough to sway me to get an N64. But I thought it was cool.
We played that for a little bit, and then we went and murdered each other on Mortal Kombat, and we still played King Griffey Jr. And I remember one year, the Super Nintendo, it hadn't been out for like too terribly long, and we were playing in the third dimension bedroom because we weren't.
The third dimension bedroom.
We hadn't
So
moved.
stupid.
We hadn't moved the. Well, that's a whole.
That's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story.
The house was haunted, and that bedroom was haunted. But anyway,
that room was where all the crap went down at. Anyway. We weren't playing in Grand's room because we had a TV up in the corner. It wasn't that one. It was the old Curtis Mathis it was so stupid. It was so stupid how this bedroom was set up because there was a bed there, and then there was this gigantic freaking Curtis Mathis TV,
it's like
and
right
there was
there.
like literally like maybe 2 foot of space in between the TV that was on the ground.
To see it, you had to get your head towards the end of the bed and look down on it.
This is the first time you thought about that too.
Yeah.
The TV, if you're sitting on the bed, the TV just looked like some sort of chest or nightstand at the base of the footboard of the bed. Like
I think my dad was playing your dad in like Madden or something. And
they were playing Madden. They were playing Madden 94. Or maybe 95.
We had 94 and 95. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was 94 though. But our dads were playing Madden 94 in that bedroom on that TV, and they were getting so excited over it that there was this window that was pretty close by, and apparently my uncle, his dad, was like hauling butt down the field and was so excited that he was laying on the bed kicking his feet. Shot his foot completely out the window, broke the glass, blam. So, and then after that, it was like, he looked like a wet cat. He was so mad. He had to go, there's nobody open on Thanksgiving, so how are you going to find? So he goes over to his shop and he finds this he had like a random piece of plexiglass, and as he was trying to trim it, I think he broke the piece of plexiglass
My dad had a model shop, so he
random materials.
Yeah, he would have random material just laying around, and I think he got some.
As he was trying to trim it he measured the window. As he was trimming it, that piece of plexiglass broke. And so he was then really mad because there was no store open. So he ended up duct taping the piece that broke and then put it back up in the window.
I think it stayed there for a while too.
It stayed there for a long time because there was a big bush outside that window, so you couldn't like really see it from the street. So the only people that knew about it were us.
Yeah, but
that's hilarious.
It came. There was this. This was probably like 10, 12 straight years where we would do this until I started collecting again. So when I started collecting again, I got the Super Nintendo from Grand's, and I claimed it for myself. But that thing stayed over there.
Do you still have it?
Yeah. It's the Super Nintendo I have.
You still play on it?
Yeah, well, it's starting to go out. It's starting
Well, at least
that's one of the very few things I still have from a child. That and the UN.
We don't have the NES. I think your sister got the NES.
No idea what happened to that. Yeah, no, I had two Super Nintendos. One with the one that I bought with my own money, and the one that the Grand had. The one that I bought with my old money, I ended up giving that to GameStop. But yeah, the one Grand had, it's claimed over here. But anyway, so there was a good 10 to 12 years where, we'd eat Thanksgiving dinner, and it would be almost like I'd take a scoop of mashed potatoes and I'd just glare at him. And he knew it was up. He was like, all right,
yeah.
Slam down, boom. Right
There was a few years where we didn't even eat our food at the table. It was like, I hope you're ready for what's about to happen. Bam, bam, bam. And straight back to the bedroom. And it was like trying to eat in between, freaking. All right, I'd go hurry up and pick my play and try to be shoveling in food while he's sitting there taking his stupid time, acting like he's some sort of freaking.
It's because
coaching genius.
It's because of Thanksgiving that for when it comes to Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat 2, which we would those were staples. Those were staples because we would always play. We wouldn't pop in and start playing Super Mario World. Which we had, but
these were violent games. Where we could destroy each other,
right? So whenever I think about Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Mortal Kombat 2, I always have the smell of banana pudding in my
Contra
nose.
Force 3.
No, it's just Contra 3. Super Contra.
Oh yeah, Contra 3. Sorry, my bad. Contra 3.
Yeah, because that's 2 players, so we maybe sometimes go a few rounds on that.
And that is why I'm hunting right now for the game titles that he just said. It is Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Contra 3, Castlevania. That is my most sought after, and it sucks because every time I come across them, people are asking $50 and $60, and I'm to the freaking point where it's like, here's your $50, go shove it where the sun don't shine, and give me the damn cartridge.
No, I don't do that. We'll go to a con or something and pick one up.
I want it now. I want it now. That's the problem.
We got friends with the hookup. So those are common games. That's the thing. And you know what's funny? It's like, I don't know how much you remember playing those back then, but when we first got the Super Nintendo, when it came out, my grandmother, because, they were... Usually, there was like, at that point, me, my sister, your sister. So there was 4 grandkids that they were buying presents for. They were just like, hey, nobody gets a present individually. You all just get this grouping. This is your present, and you just come over here and you all have to share it. So it's split 4 ways.
Which was hilarious because me and Billy played it and we didn't share it at all.
Oh no. My sister and your sister, they didn't care, but that was a good scam on our house.
Yeah, right.
Get it for all the grandkids.
Yeah.
Knowing full well that they'd much rather have a Cabbage Patch Kid or something.
Dumb Cabbage Patch
But
Kids.
it is what it is. But I remember my grandmother was like, well, what game should I get with it? And I was like, well, it's going to come with Super Mario Brothers. So let's get Pilot Wings.
Yeah, Pilot Wings.
I go Pilot Wings, and I was only picking these from Nintendo Power. I saw them.
Solid picks, by the way.
Thank you. I like to think that
solid picks. I'm glad you were reading, Nintendo Power back in the day.
I'll take credit. I think that's one of my greatest accomplishments because I think I got, when it comes to the launch. No, they weren't launch titles because it had been out for a while, but launch titles to us that that's your first. Stepping your foot into the door of this brand new console generation because I had not played it, not even at like Toys R Us or anything. So we got Pilot Wings, which was good.
Meanwhile, I'm
Castlevania 4 and Contra 3 and UN Squadron.
And meanwhile, I'm getting brainwashed to bring home Bible Adventures.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
Everybody knows that story.
That's some
should have gone with Nintendo Power for those years.
We got new people that may not, but anyway, well, you know what? Screw it. This SOB, was in charge of renting games one day at one Friday night, and
Charged Nintendo.
So I was always extremely hesitant to allow him to take the reins and do that. But I remember
he had no choice.
My grandmother and his mother were like, "No, let's give Chris a chance.
Shut up, Billy.
Let's give Chris a chance to pick a game." And I'm like, "All right, you know what? Fine." What? I mean, I'm not paying for it, so
He
what
would
the hell
get
can I
so
say?
mad. He would get so mad.
Because he brings home something like Bible Adventures when he's not bringing home something like
It kind
a
of
racing
it
game.
looked kind of cool. I mean, the label, like, Moses on the ark, and I don't know. It was garbage. It was garbage.
You know what's funny is actually
it's a good story now. So
I actually do like playing Noah's Ark every once in a while. Like, it's not horrible. I mean, when it comes to like really bad games on the
not
NES,
the worst.
It's not definitely not the worst. I can name a few more. Dash Galaxy, but anyway, yeah. So that's, I don't know, anything else that pops in your head about all these?
I don't know. I think I'd rather play Bible Adventures than say this.
Ooh, yeah, that's not a good.
I'd rather play Bible Adventures all day other than this.
I don't know what they were thinking with that one.
Yeah, that was straight.
Do you remember playing Boy and His Blob?
Boy, yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I like that
You
one.
gave me that copy.
Did I?
Yeah, that was my first box game.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, you gave me let's see. What else do we have here that was, here's another. I've got duplicates on this, but they're different variants. If you look at the Nintendo,
Oh yeah. I didn't know Burger Time had a variant on.
oh.
I don't collect for variants. I just don't.
Yeah, neither do I. I just happen to.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna assume that since you weren't born, that you don't have any memories at all with the Atari and the Intellivision.
No, I have zero.
Okay.
Zero. Well, if y'all are controller tricking me in the NES, what makes you think that I remembered the Atari? No, I don't remember that at all.
Okay, I didn't. Yeah, because I think those were gone way before you came into existence.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So thank you so much for watching our little Thanksgiving video here. Hope you guys have a
Go
great
eat some
Thanksgiving.
turkey.
Thank you guys for watching, and we appreciate your support and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So why don't you say Happy Thanksgiving?
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.